I'm TEMPHUiBIS here, and today we're going to talk about the Super NES, yeah? Okay, I was talking about the Super NES, Super Nintendo, Nintendo? No, we're going in the retro days, Super Nintendo, Super NES, 16-bit era. That's a game. I'm talking about the console. Super NES, Super Nintendo. Stop! I'm talking about the Super Nintendo, 16-bit. Can I have the sound when you turn that on, please? There you go. There was none. So as you're reading from the title of this video, yeah, that's one of the reasons right there why I didn't get Super NES. That's one of the reasons right there. Haha, I'm joking. So basically, I've been chatting to a lot of retro gamers, and they're all shocked to know that I never had a Super NES. I never owned a Super NES, and they're like, Tim, how can you not had a Super NES? How come you was never a Super NES person? And then the question also comes out that, how comes you had a Nintendo and not a Master System, but then somehow you switched and went and got a Mega Drive and not a Super NES? So that's a good. Those are good questions, and I have two big answers for that. I've got two really big answers, and one of the answers is more based on why I didn't get it in the beginning. The other answer is more based on why I never really got it for the rest of the era. And I'm going to start with that one first. This is going to be kind of a wraparound. You'd think I'd say why I didn't get it at the start, at the beginning. Right. So I'm going to speak about this. It kind of comes down to exposure. I could sort of blame certain gamers. I can blame certain gamers who probably didn't like their own console much. Let me explain what I mean about that. So, really long time ago, someone used to live about eight doors down the road. He had a Super NES, and I remember he had Pilot Wings, Super Mario World, and Street Fighter 2. That's it. I had another friend here who lived around the corner, and he had Super NES, and the only game he had was Street Fighter 2. Went to another person's house, and because I was only in his house here for just a little while, in fact, it was actually a friend of a friend's house, to be honest, yeah. We all just went there for a quick second. We all managed to get to play a quick game for 2 minutes. That game was FIFA, And one time, my family, we went to this house here to celebrate something. And you know what it was like when you go out with your parents and everything like, yeah, all the adults celebrate downstairs and all the kids, everyone, yeah, all just go upstairs to the kids of that house bedroom. So we all went upstairs in that kid's bedroom. He had a Super NES and all he had was Street Fighter 2. And another one of my friends who went to my primary school and secondary school, he had Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World, and Super Tennis. And that's when I've really got into Super Mario Kart. I gotta say, it was such a fantastic game. It was such a brilliant game, and everything. But that's all still the only games he had. So now you probably understand where I'm already going with this. Yeah, you're probably understanding like where what I'm probably going to say next. You probably know what's going to happen right now, but let me say it anyway. Now, one of my friends who lived not too far from here, he had a Mega Drive, and he had Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Shinobi, FIFA, Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters, Alien Storm, Ferrari Pro Ferrari Pro Grand Prix. No, Monaco World Grand Prix. Castle of Illusion, or was it World of Illusion? One of those World of Illusion games and everything like that. And Sonic the Hedgehog 2. You see? That's a good, nice list of games, isn't it? And another one of my friends I had, he had Streets of Rage 1 and Streets of Rage 2, Altered Beast, James Buster Douglas Boxing, some shooting game that I forgot the name of, Super Hang-On, Columns, and World Cup Italia 90. You know? You guys understand where this is going already? And my dad took me to this other person's house. You know, I remember he basically had to do a lot of work somewhere. Keep in mind, I was a child. I was basically about, 10 years old at this time. 10 years old. So I'm gonna get back to that in a moment, right? Yeah. Yeah, Dad took me to this person's house a long time ago, and what games did he have? Because I remember banging out a lot of games. And I was playing Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Alex Kidd. Yeah. Oh yeah, he has Street Fighter as well. Yeah, he has Street Fighter as well. I said said Sonic 1, Sonic 2. Yeah, he had Columns, World Cup Italia 90, and Super Hang-On as well. It was basically the Mega Games 1 thing. And he had Golden Axe 1 as well. Trying to remember. There was actually more people I knew at the time who had Mega Drive and anything like that, but I'm just trying to go for the specific ones, So, as you can see, there was a lot more games that was exposed to me for the Mega Drive. There was a lot more games that I enjoyed playing because, they had those games. Sometimes somebody could buy the Mega Drive or Super NES based on the two main games, two main characters, the two main mascots, Mario and Sonic. First off, I gotta say, yeah, Sonic has always been a better character to me. Sonic has always been my favourite character when it comes to those, yeah. Sonic's just a legendary character. It was all about speed. I was a guy who was about, speed beats power all the time. I was always about that, yeah. And Sonic was a guy who runs fast. So that was already something better to me. And I did love the Sonic games a lot. Mario games were fantastic, but I still love the Sonic games a lot. But that wasn't it wasn't just gonna be the Sonic games that was gonna make me buy a Mega Drive, yeah. There had to be loads of other different great games. So at the time, I was thinking there wasn't really that much Super NES games there was. It seemed to me almost like buying a Super NES, you're buying a Super NES just for Mario games. Mario World and Mario Kart. That's probably just about it. Alright, I said some of the people who had Super NES the other day mostly had Street Fighter, but Street Fighter was on the Mega Drive as well. So it really, to me at the time, it really felt as if like buying a Super NES was just for Super Mario World. There wasn't much known games. I had games for the Nintendo. I didn't even realize the sequels came out on the Super NES. I thought that they just discontinued them, and Super NES just had games that I just weren't exposed to. Really, keep in mind, like I said, I was young. I was about 10 years old. I did not have internet at the time. There was no internet. I didn't have that many game magazines either, so I didn't know about much games. So, because I knew of all those games on the Mega Drive, Golden Axe, phenomenal. The question is, can you play Mega Drive without playing Sonic games? Yeah, you could, because there's loads of games that does that, which is Golden Axe, Altered Beast. Those are also Sega classics, Sega Mega Drive classics as well. And there is on the Super NES as well, but wait, I'll get to that in a moment, yeah? So more or less for that whole era, I did not know about these sort of things. I remember now, during the PlayStation 1 days, N64 days, one of my friends came over with an emulator for the Super NES, and he was showing me next games that I didn't freaking know about. He was showing all these next brilliant games for the Super NES that I'm like, holy shit! How can I not know about these at the time? You know, you see where this, see what's happened here. I was not exposed to these games and everything that year. I didn't even know what F-Zero X was. So, it's not F-Zero X, F-Zero, because on Super NES it was just F-Zero. I didn't know what F-Zero was. You know, I know it was even bad. I didn't even know what Metroid was at the time. You know, I sometimes could put this down to Nintendo didn't promote their console properly. They probably did, you know. But I feel as if gamers did not do it justice. Most gamers just bought the Super NES for just Mario World and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure most of you guys are saying right now, yeah, oh, I had loads of Super NES games when I was a kid, yeah. You should have came around my house. Well, unfortunately, you were not here around at the time. So I put this down to exposure, and I'm going to put the blame on gamers who didn't show good justice for their console. You know, I think the one who had Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, and Super Tennis, those were okay. Super Tennis was okay; it was not nothing bad. But Super Mario World and Super Mario Kart, they're good games. Don't get me wrong. Super Mario Kart was probably better than, probably the best one. It's really absolutely fantastic. I really enjoy those games. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Now, but I did not know. You know, I did not know about these. But here's another thing about the Super NES that I want to sort of bring up though. Yeah, and this is more or less why I didn't really get it at the start. When I had the Nintendo, enjoyed it, gone through the days, it was time to pick a 16-bit console. You know, there was something that I looked at which made me sort of scour away to which was making my eyes sort of turn from Super NES to Mega Drive in the first place, right? Yeah, and this is what happened. This one of the friends I have, in fact, it's the same friend who I said, yeah, who had Street Fighter for his Super NES. He actually had a Sega Master System, and he had loads of games for the Sega Master System. So he had one game for the Super NES, loads of games for the Super Master System. Once again, no justice. And the games for the Master System he had was wicked, brilliant, and everything like that, yeah. The games I had for the Nintendo, they were still fantastic as well. But it was something I noticed when I was looking at both Super NES and Mega Drive. It's something that the catalogue had. The Mega Drive was backwards compatible. It had a converter for the Master System. So you could play Master System games on the Mega Drive. A lot of people are, I know. Actually, I'll get to that, and I'll get to that later on. Yeah. So, so when I first saw yeah that the Mega Drive had a Master System compatible things and converter, I decided, yeah, maybe Mega Drive is actually the best thing to get after all. Probably because of what I was exposed to with both Mega Drive and with the Master System. You know, you guys got to understand, yeah, that when I was young, my brother used to live in this house, and I didn't really have much things where I couldn't have that many things that I have now. You know, so all we had was space for 2 consoles at the television that we had. Only 2 consoles, couldn't have more set up. So what it ended up being was the Nintendo and Mega Drive. Because this is what was going through my head at the time, yeah? I want the Nintendo. I still love the Nintendo. I still have the Nintendo plugged in down here, and I still play games for the Nintendo. I still buy games for the Nintendo. I love the Nintendo days, yeah, a lot, yeah. And I always still wanted the Nintendo there. So what console was I going to get? Super NES or Mega Drive? Well, in my mind, if I got the Mega Drive, I would now have 3 consoles there. Because now the Mega Drive would have the Master System games with it as well. Because I like the Master System games. So what was the choice? 3 consoles or 2 consoles? The one thing I was saying all the time, and it never happened, is I was saying, let's get the Mega Drive first so then I can get the converter for the Master System. And when they make the converter for the Super NES that will allow to play Nintendo games on the Super NES, I'll get the Super NES then. Never happened. They never made a converter that allowed Nintendo games to be on the Super NES. Never happened. Super NES was not backwards compatible. The Mega Drive was. You know? So I want to do a little bit of a point out here quickly, about something recent. I've heard a lot of people, cussing the PS4 because the PS4 isn't backwards compatible. A lot of people hating on the PS4. I've been hearing a lot of people saying, "Guys, shut up about backwards compatible. Yeah, you guys don't need backwards compatible. Was the Super Nintendo backwards compatible?" People have said that in videos. You know, some of my friends have said that in videos. A lot of other people have been saying that in videos, and people have been saying it in comments. They use the Super NES. They actually use the Super NES as an example to prove that, so you make their point, like, why are you moaning about backwards compatible now? Well, guess what? Backwards compatible, was the reason I did not buy a Super NES in the first place. There you go. The reason why I bought a Mega Drive instead of the Super NES in the first place is because it was backwards compatible. So there you have it. Even back then, we all moaned about backwards compatible. You know, backwards compatible was always a big, legit thing. Who knows? There could have been loads of kids who were in my position where they could have only had 2 consoles set up or 1 console set up, and they just decide get the Mega Drive, so they got a choice of 2 consoles now. You never would ever think of that, would they? There could have been loads of people in my position, loads, and maybe you would probably find if the Super NES did end up getting a converter that would have played Nintendo games, it might have sold more. It sold a lot already. It doesn't matter. I've probably sold a fuck lot more than whatever. But that's the point I'm trying to get out. Yeah, that is why I did not. That's the reason why I didn't really get a Super NES. I didn't really get a Super NES because found out at the start because of the backwards compatible, and later on, even when I ended up moving to my room, where I now had more space to get a Super NES and everything like that. Now, we were sort of coming to the end of the 16-bit days at those times anyway. Really. I still didn't know about loads of the games I know now because of the exposure. Thanks to all of the people who had Super NES and hardly had any games for their Super NES. It was only when I was coming to the end of the era, that's when I started to see more games. That's when I started going to other people's houses and seeing that those ones had more games. So what do you expect? So what do you expect from me? I mean, if you was in my position, what do you expect? Now I'm going to tell you a nice funny little thing. Unfortunately, I never ever got the Master System converter. I actually never got it. The main reason I switched to the Mega Drive, I sadly never got it in the first place. It was in the catalogue when I first saw it. It unfortunately was not in the shops and stuff. And that catalogue, the place that catalogue was done, that place was closed down. So that converter was a rare thing. And I had Mega Drive 2, but there was a converter for the Mega Drive 1 and a converter for Mega Drive 2. Loads of people had the converter for Mega Drive 1, not 2, and we tried putting that 1 in my one and it did not fit. So it was a bit of a type of thing. So even though I did buy it, I never got it. But guess what? I did still get a fuckload of games for my Mega Drive. Got loads of other games that I didn't know about, you know. And there was also games that I had on the Mega Drive that I did not even know was on the NES, the Super NES, sorry. So it makes you think, what happened? What happened to the people who weren't buying their Super NES games? Or maybe I just live in that bad area. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying, guys, yeah? This is why Super NES more or less never ended up in my house. You know? It was a classic console, and I definitely will say it's one of the best, but I can definitely say it's the best now. One game I didn't even know on there was Final Fight. I did not know about that game. That game was just like a sort of Streets of Rage. I didn't know about that game. So, and Golden Axe. Golden Axe was a legendary game. It wouldn't surprise me now if there was some sort of Golden Axe game on the Super NES. But thanks to the lack of internet and thanks to the lack of games that Super NES gamers had, there you go. What can I say? Well, but anyway, that's what I wanted to say to you guys. Yeah, I thought I'd do this quick video here. Yeah. So thanks very much, guys. Yeah, and I'll speak to you all later. Love who you are.